Hey, what is up, traders? We are back. Sorry about that last live stream. We were actually muted and we didn't notice that we didn't have any sound here, but hopefully you guys can hear me good, okay. Right now, so yeah, how I was describing, we are in a small position here on Tesla. We saw that nice break above the VWAP intraday, this blue line, and a nice move towards the upside, volume picking up, but then we saw this downward move, and this was over on the market as well. We were declining, and quite frankly, I don't know why the cause of that was. Maybe it was just random, maybe some liquidity capturing, or some kind of liquidation. But we are finding some support here on Tesla for the overall 50 EMA, which is quite nice to see that we are finding that support, showing us that underlying strength. We're also above the 50 EMA, so it's just a matter of time, giving the stock and the time to show us if it's going to be a long or if it's going to be a short. We'll have to see. It looks like it's not showing too much support now on Tesla. Kind of a little bit of a concern though. Yeah, it's intense downside candle. The true question here is Tesla going to recover? Right here, we generally want to be in favor of the trend. Right now, it's still an uptrend. Believe it or not, we are above VWAP and major indicators above the 50. So we do want to give the benefit of the doubt to those buyers. We'll have to see if we, defend the level here on Tesla. Yeah, going now to like maybe checking Nvidia, seeing how that's performing. Yeah, it's showing, like I said, it's in a range previously. I guess there's no edge in trading this name unless you are more of a range trader, not too much of a momentum. You obviously could go short at the highs and then try to find some support areas. You guys should try to go long here at these lows. But yeah, right now it's not looking too good. Market's now declining for another reason. I do not know why, but it's so random. Here on the name, the volatility has been intense. I mean, also it's a Friday, right? So generally on Fridays we tend to maybe not see so much of an explosive move. And it also allows the market over the weekend to digest the news for Tesla. I feel like Tesla will trade a little bit more freely and kind of following the overall analysis and important support and resistance levels, as traders will have during the weekend time to digest the news and analyze again their positions overall. Moving on to core weave, pretty weak on the overall day, pulling back. Let's see on the daily. Yeah, daily chart starting. It's like a maybe a top starting to form here on this name. Who knows though? Who knows? But yeah, it's been pretty weak. Yesterday it was declining as well, pretty heavy. AMD declining, like everything in the overall market starting to decline here. Yeah, it's pretty suspicious here. Meta, yeah, there we go. It's finding some support at the 50. Like I said, Google fell below VWAP a little bit. Buyers are picking it up at a discount, so that's good. Microsoft, there they go, finding support at the 50, so it's kind of halting this short-term downwards trend. Let's see, Apple, not really, declining. Amazon, kind of in a range, but still above the 50 EMA, giving us confluence. IBIT towards the upside, obviously because Bitcoin is going up. Palantir, pretty flat name, and Nvidia pretty flat as well. Tesla is the only one that's kind of moving, and looking out now we're pulling back here to the price action. Yeah, we'll have to see if this if these levels do defend, right? It's just a matter of time to see if it does defend. Yeah, don't know. Bitcoin on the pretty strong still, above the 50, way above it. See on the daily, that's where we found the support, like I previously stated, at the 50 EMA 101 was where we found that support there. It was forming confluence. It was matching this previous this area of support here. So you know, double the reasons as to why this could have been a nice buying opportunity here for Bitcoin. To be fully long, we would have to get above the swing high VWAP here that we're seeing, this red line towards the downside. That would be the only way to go long this name fully. GE, just unstoppable. This name has been just steady. Does regardless of the overall market, this thing just keeps going up. Honestly, intense name. Beautiful name. Let's see, Tesla. Okay, let's pull back to the 5-minute chart. Now we're at $300 level again. Pretty suspicious movement here. So we're having some camera problems, but yeah, right now Tesla's pulling back quite heavily. Here, not gonna lie to you guys. I'll say we are pulling quite heavy. Pulling back. Man, the market's just been a mess recently, man. Trading this, it's been a lot of wiki action and headline driven market, to be honest. For any random news, you know, we just decline. But yeah, the second video is finding support at the 50, but still it's flat. I wouldn't really try to touch this name right here. Yeah, looks like it's finding some overall support there. See Tesla. See, like, I'm liking these lower wicks that are forming on the candles, showing that buyers are defending their levels, like they're coming in towards the defined levels here. But we are just finding an overall sense of weakness, right? We're not seeing those nice defend levels and upward momentum moves that we're used to seeing here on Tesla. Yeah, market's up. Yeah, slowly starting to bid up, so that's pretty good. The market isn't declining. It's actually bidding up, so hopefully these other equities start to follow it. It's a good sign showing there's some strength in the market overall, but we have to see that within these equities. Nvidia now, yeah, finding some support. See Tesla trying to defend the 300. All right, some buying coming in. Not bad, following the market. Some bids, hopefully the buyers to defend above the VWAP and overall $300 level. It looks like they are, but we'll have to see a little bit more confirmation here on the overall name. Yeah, market up 1.1%. Yeah, overall Tesla's looking pretty weak here. Not going to lie. Let's see if we plot it. It was an important high. As long as we don't get above that, we are not going to this was started the downside move, basically, this candle. So as long as we don't get above that, Tesla's not looking like a long position fully here. Overall looks pretty weak. Not going to lie here. I say we're having some overall weakness here. I mean, the volume, it has declined here on Tesla. I mean, look at that. We had a nice surge. Volume was pretty good, regardless of it being green or red. And then we had this intense candle here, this intense wick, showing us the momentum kind of shifted. And from there, we've been seeing the stock decline in volume. I don't know, kind of like a warning sign here on the name. See, NVIDIA found support there. Now just trying to bid up right there at the 50. Market up 1.13%. Yeah, market going up here. Up 1.13%, as well as the overall SPY. looks like we're bouncing each time, but we're not forming like new highs. You know, it's showing that the trend is kind of dying down towards the upside. It's not looking too good, right? Like, okay, we pull back, find support, we form a high, but it's not near this high as well. We come back, we find support, and then we form even a lower high. So you see this low high, low high, lower high. It's like we're starting to establish a downtrend, possible reversal here on Tesla. So fully we're gonna have to be quite alert, see what happens here on the name. Surprisingly, I thought we were gonna find a little bit more of a, you know, nice move, but you know, this may be a downside move here for Tesla. Yeah, you probably won't find support all the way to 292, to be honest. And yeah, look at that. It's pulling back now. It's failing VWAP. Like it's about to. Probably plot a VWAP at this low, kind of gauge the buyers here. Yeah, and pretty much most days, generally, we do see kind of pretty well an established trend, usually within the first 30 minutes of the day, maybe 45 minutes, and then we start to see that initial trend slowly dying down, and we start seeing a shift now in the overall trend. So now a new trend is forming. So usually from, I believe, 9:30 to 10:15, around there, we have a nice kind of defined trend usually in the markets. I've noted that. And generally from around 7:30, a little bit before that, the range of 7:15 and 7:30, we start to reverse the trend, right? So if we're from 9:30 to 10:15, we were downtrending. So around 10:30, we'll slowly start to, you know, see some buyers coming in and slowly start to bid up the price, right? And then vice versa for the other way. And right now, it's like, yeah, it's kind of weak. Like what I'm saying is, you know, we're finding, right, we come back, find support, but each time it's, you know, it's okay, it's a lower high, we find support, but less time. Like we did it this high that we formed this bounce wasn't with enough power or sustain, you know, to make it, you know, be a high over here. Like this high should have been, you know, closing above here. And also this is always, you know, it's downward sloping as well, this VWAP from this high. So over time, you would like to measure that VWAP slope to kind of gauge how the momentum is shifting and see if the sellers are really in control, right? So right now it's at 32.05. quite interesting. Yeah, right now you can pretty much say that we are below the swing high VWAP here, but we're still holding the swing low. So we're kind of within this little range here, this kind of how would you say, little area of consolidation, you can say, so right now we can interpret this to be pretty much, how do you say it, there's equality between the buyers and sellers, right? There's indecision. We don't know whether to go up or to go down, right? So that is obviously being reflected by what we're seeing on the overall chart. What it displays there, yeah. So honestly, just waiting, or if Tesla, probably to kind of digest the moves, is maybe going to be trading sideways during the rest of the day above VWAP, and not really seeing explosive moves. And I guess that'll be it, right? So we'll have to see what the overall stock does. Nvidia, there it is, pumping. Like I said, it was going to find support at the 50 EMA right there. Now it's testing VWAP. I'll have to play an alert here on Nvidia, see if it does trigger that alert. And the volume's pretty low on Tesla. Yeah, I don't know. We got this nice bid. See it around 730. Pretty much what I'm saying is that we have a established kind of downwards trend, in this case from the open towards the downside, and then around 7:30 or 10:30 we start seeing a shift, in the overall momentum here of the stock. If you go back to, let's say, yesterday's price action here of Tesla. See, so we have a nice established trend, right? So then 7:30 we start getting a little glimpse of trend shift, and 9 a.m. that's when we got that downward move, and it was just bleeding from there, man. It was just declining. These were this was a nice trend day, honestly, to go short the name, but right now is nothing what we're seeing right now. The only ways to to be long would have to be a just break above the swing high anchored VWAP. So there, to go short the position and show that the sellers did gain control would have to be like a break of the VWAP. So anything downward, anything lower than here, showing that the buyers failed to hold the levels, and then just to go long, it would have to break above here. So right now we're allowing the market to show us that in reality there's indecision here between buyers and sellers. We're not certain where the price wants to go, and that's where we are trading right here like this. The volume is pretty flat, and it's like indecisiveness being shown here on the stock. Yeah, overall looks pretty flat, to be honest. Yeah, as an indication, I mean, there's still buyers, but there's sellers present, bringing the stock down. And like I said, it's just, a mess here right now until we see a decisive break. If it's above here, right, then it's going to be a long. If it breaks below there, then it's going to be most likely a short, showing that the sellers have gained the control. Okay, not bad. Like, it's trying to gear up, hopefully towards the upside. Nvidia going up as well. Market kind of showing that bid. So that's good. Kind of encountering here now some resistance at VWAP, but see, like, the market's even choppy. Just gives you an idea. Like, we're above VWAP, we break below VWAP, we break above VWAP, we break below VWAP, right? So it's pretty choppy, right? So it's showing us that in this case VWAP is not being a relative, how would you say it, helpful indicator for the day, especially if you're trading the Qs, right? Because honestly, what you're doing pretty much here is just consolidating, right? There's no reason to use VWAP as a decisive tool. Instead, you can use a 50 MA, right? We found buyers there. So hopefully we'll see a bid higher here on the overall triple Qs, and the overall market can follow here. There it is, Tesla. Okay, Tesla, okay, it's like it's gearing up. I like that candle. I like that volume picking up. Come on, volume picking up now again. 172k. Sometimes you just have to wait. You can't always enter the names just like that, right? So that's looks like that's declining now. And right now it's around 9. But yeah, the overall moment of truth looks like it's starting to pick up here, but we'll still have to wait. Yeah, volume picking up quite well here on the bottom, right here. And sometimes the best thing to do here when you're uncertain and or for example you're not seeing an edge yet is to just be patient until the conditions emerge. It's like NVIDIA's crossing the VWAP $142.41 level. It's quite nice. But yeah, like how I was saying, if it's not setting up yet, there's no reason to enter, right? You may enter because maybe you see FOMO, you're not certain, right? And you may have to be liquidated, probably gets have your stop loss triggered. So it's important to only enter the name when you are certain of the move. And looks like right now it's starting to set up here. The bullish case here for Tesla. We'll have to see if it does decide to pick up. Yeah, I like that this little scoop that we're seeing, right? This little curl towards the upside, showing momentum here. The buying volume is picking up. Volume is now being towards the average volume of Tesla. So the average volume for the last 30 days has been around 114 million, and now the volume that we are at right now is 103 million. So it's quite nice to see. Still, we don't want to enter the position or add into the position prematurely, as it gives us a worse average price. Yeah, yesterday was intense for Tesla. Like Tesla shares fell 14% in one day, losing $150 billion in market value, closing at 284.70. The stock rebounded 5% in pre-market, trading after news of a call between Musk and Trump. Yeah, it was pretty intense yesterday. We should have. We actually made a video on that, so feel free to check that out on the YouTube channel, where we go over pretty much over what caused the downside move, the tweets, a little bit of what Trump had to say, and some analysis here on Tesla, as pretty much just covering the event that happened, pretty much, right? So it's like a little recap. But yeah, feel free to watch that, and yeah, it's a pretty good video to see here. Let's see, NVIDIA's pumping up now. There we go, NVIDIA, come on. See, it found support at the 50, like we would say. Not as confluence zone right there, and it's slowly starting to bid up. So it's nice to see here. But our main focus is on Tesla, as this has just enormous, gigantic moves and is quite a good name to trade here. Especially for the day. And like I said, NVIDIA has been pretty rangy, although it is finding support. It's been rangy for the day, but Tesla has seen nice moves, right? Explosive moves, pullbacks and all this little aspect here. So it's been a nice probability trade here. So collectively, I like to see it this way. So we have our intraday VWAP, right? And it's the blue line, and it's up, right? Where the price action is above it. And okay, so that's one, right? It's above. There's a swing low anchored VWAP from where we formed this candle, and we start to see this nice uptrend here, right? And we're also, the price action is also above that, right? And we're also above the 50 EMA, and we're only below the price action below this high. So it's kind of like a 3 versus 1. So pretty much you could say that it's like a 3 versus 1 buyers versus sellers here scenario. And generally, who knows? Generally, when there's 3 people fighting against one, the 3 people win, obviously, because of there being more of them. So kind of you can interpret that when using VWAP or one of those areas that confluence, like the 50 EMAs or even 90 EMAs, right? Having that into consideration, we can also plot that to kind of get some idea of is a trend there, is it not there. Let's use a 15 EMAs, and primarily we use EMAs because for shorter term trading they're better, as they react more to short-term moves compared to SMAs. They kind of lag a little bit more. That's better for longer term trades, like swing trade if you're trading on the daily and stuff like that. Let's see, we'll stay on the page here. I don't see why it's not loading. Let's see, let's refresh that. They don't want to show, I guess. So they don't want to show, but yeah, we're okay. Found some resistance there. This is a 301.93. It's like sellers are pretty active up here. Now we're finding resistance exactly at that swing high anchored VWAP. It's like they're not done selling. Pretty intense here. Let's see, come on. It's like the buyers are like, we're trying to bring the price up, but you guys keep bringing it back down. It's like the sellers, they just keep dumping their shares there. So we're trading view in the ads. Yeah, we're pretty much hands off right now. It's not setting up exactly how we want it, but that's the best thing about our strategies, right? We allow time to be in our favor, and if it's not setting up, there's no reason to enter, right? Sometimes cash is the best position, and like they say, right? Pretty much, it's better to be on the sidelines wishing you were in than it is to be in the markets wishing you were out, right? So I think it's something important, right? If you enter here, right, and it's going against your position because you entered prematurely, you're gonna be wishing that you were out, and you're gonna start kind of getting nervous, not thinking properly here, because you're gonna start seeing your P&L going down. But right, it's important to kind of take a pause, step back a little bit, and analyze your trades a little bit more, like that. But by the way, guys, feel free to subscribe to the channel to get videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here on the channel, and live streaming here, trading the markets every day, to give you guys a little bit more of a better insights on the market. And as always, you guys can always drop in the chat or down in the comments below any type of ticker that you guys want me to analyze or go over, and we can firmly analyze it with the team, and get a little bit more of a nuance analysis, and get back to you guys in the form of a video where we disclose the technicals and the fundamentals here for whatever stock you guys want us to analyze. So feel free to do that, and yeah, get on to that. Nvidia still pumping. It's not bad. Bitcoin is pretty strong on the day compared to yesterday. It was pretty weak. Here there's always that it's nice to see Bitcoin not being heavily correlated to the markets. It's supposed to kind of perform as a different type of kind of entity here, and it's quite nice to see that's it's not matching, right, the markets. If markets are down, Bitcoin isn't down, or stuff like that, right? It's quite good to see that. Triple Q, yeah, finding some resistance at VWAP. But hopefully we see some buyers here, man. But yeah, it's pretty choppy market today. It's like we're waiting for something, I guess. Yeah, there it is. Nvidia now found again support. Resistance again at the pre-market high. We just can't seem to get above that area. Can't seem to get above that price level. We know we came in, we bid up pretty much, resisted again, boom, bid up again, and then resisted again, right? So yeah, it's like I said, it's good for range trading, right? You go short the tops and you go long the bottoms, the areas of support. But yeah, other than that, it's just not sitting up here. Palantir as well, pretty flat on the day. A lot of wicks, downside of wicks as well, above 50 EMA, above VWAP, but yeah, it's not too nice of a move. Netflix, pretty nice established trend. This is what we want to see in a name as well. It's like it's starting to shift downwards now, starting to curl back, kind of try to form a prior a higher low, but this level failed here at this break. Probably see more decline here on Netflix. IBIT rising up alongside Bitcoin. Pretty good trade for individuals who are on that. Let's see, yeah, Nvidia there. CrowdStrike, yeah, pretty weak on the day. It's just not finding the support that it needs. Pretty weak on the day, to be honest. Not looking too good for CoreWeave. On the daily, it looks like it's starting to get a little bit toppy. It was all rainbows and everything, and cupcakes and rainbows, but now it looks like there's some profit taking starting to emerge here. Especially this big candle yesterday that came in, but who knows, right? We can't underestimate the beast, right? It's still on an uptrend. We don't just want to say, oh, it's going to start reversing and shorting the beast, right? So kind of gauge a little bit more of this analysis here, but yeah, it's still an uptrend, but it's kind of looking to pull back here for CoreWeave. AMD on the day, pretty weak, to be honest. It's fell below its 50 EMA. Now it's declining. There's been some wicks here, lower wicks, showing that there's some buyers picking the price up, but we're starting to see some resistance. We're below VWAP intraday. The average short participant is in the money, and we're below the 50. So this name, it's bearish. I wouldn't touch it personally. I'm not touching this name at all. GE just pumping, being an absolute beast. Let's take a look at little Dash, right? DoorDash, how that's doing. Well, we've seen that name on the overall daily chart, and it's just an absolute beast. It's like it doesn't care what the market does overall, and yeah, it's pretty flat, but it's still up on the day. It's 1%, and if you guys look at this on the daily, it's just been a nice absolute runner. As soon as it recuperated above the 50 EMA, it had earnings, kind of declined on that. You know, they beat on their EPS, but they missed on revenue. Kind of showing, I guess, some weakness. I guess they brought in less money overall for that quarter, but it's been a pretty nice sustained upward move. I guess maybe it's starting to maybe pull back a little bit, but still it's been pretty strong. It's pretty far away from its 50 EMA. It's just showing you that how intense the buyers have been. Additionally, we only tested the level once, right? We gapped up a little bit here. We came back. Sellers brought the, let me just take this off. Sellers you know, brought the price back down here. Intense wick here on the low, showing that, you know, there was intense buying here, and that was the only time we tested that. You know, we didn't come to it once, showing that there was buyers here present on the name overall here. Let's see, what was the other name that we were looking at? So it was DoorDash, and I think Lidos. This name popped up on our scanner. Lidos, is this one? No, yeah, Lidos on the daily. So it's it was holding quite well, nice trend above its 50 EMA. Then it, you know, kind of pulled back, got a little bit top heavy. It did quite well on earnings, although, and it also beat quite well here. The EPS and the revenue beat quite a nice beat, by 152 million, up 3%, I guess, and a nice EPS here beat. Yeah, it went above its 50, kind of got a little bit toppy and pulled back, but you know, kind of short term went below the 50, but now it's starting to recuperate it. Yeah, this name, you know, it's looking bullish, you know, to me, and there's a potential towards the upside on this name, right? So we're pretty far from the all-time highs of 201, and we simply can just plot a Anchored VWAP here on this weekly chart, and let's see, let's put it as red because we like to signify that's where the sellers have been at. And let's say we broke above it, so so we're taking some time. You know, we kind of dipped below it, but now we're finding support. So what I would like to see is possibly a break above the $162 level here, basically this area that we failed to, you know, propose from, that we pulled towards the 50 EMA. Known areas of support to, you know, trigger the long entry here. There's a weekly chart of Lidos, but you know, we can firmly, you know, achieve the obviously the highs of 203 here on this level. But yeah, this name has been, you know, pretty strong. Let me just look at that weekly chart here. The earnings they beat higher lows, higher low, and a higher highs, right? Obviously following the longer term trend structure here. And yeah, just looking absolutely bullish. We just have to wait for it to come into alignment again to its overall longer term trend here on Lidos. Another name as well that we've been looking at over the past couple of weeks. Let's see if I can find it within my notes. Let's see. So it has been, oh yeah, RCL. I've been talking about this name. It's an absolute monster. This name, it's just doesn't care what the market does. It's just bidding up, and it looks like it's trying to go higher. Royal Caribbean Cruises. It's consumer services. It's in the hotels, resorts, and cruise lines. Honestly, I don't know why this stock would be up, right? I guess there's more confidence in the consumer. I've seen that, you know, we're not too heavily impacted by tariffs or something. But yeah, this name has just been bidding up ever since earnings. They beat on earnings, right? But they missed on their revenue by, you know, it wasn't too bad actually. Too bad of a miss. I guess investors didn't like it initially, but they bought it up after that. It was below its highs of around 277, so we plotted an Anchored VWAP at this high to signify when the trend would shift. And as you can see, most of the time we were below it, acting as resistance. We were also below the 50 EMA, showing that this stock was towards the downside. And then all of a sudden we got this nice bid in April alongside the overall market. I guess most stocks had this nice bounce here overall. we pulled back from a higher low, and then earnings came in. We gapped a little bit lower, but then we slowly started to get above the 50. And once we got above the 50 and above this swing high anchored VWAP, so around this area, it signified to us that the sellers were not intense enough to bring the price down lower. Buyers were slowly starting to pick up the price. The buying was slowly starting to increase. As you can see here, the buying volume was starting to be green now. Previously, it was just red and increasing, but on this intense candle here. But slowly the buyers started to emerge, and yeah, we saw this rise in price action, and it's been nothing but an upside move. Now trying to challenge its all-time highs here in the name, trying to go above that, and it's just been an absolute amazing name to be long and trading here. We can kind of project the upside moves here, so I think we analyzed it, and we came to the conclusion that it can firmly achieve the levels of 320. That would be the next profit target in case any of these buyers decide to pick it up. But obviously, before we reach that price, we're going to see a pullback. We just can't continue up higher, so we'll probably pull back either towards some EMA here, maybe an area of support here, maybe 257, and then find that extra power needed to achieve the all-time high level of 320 here on the upside, right? So yeah, those are pretty good names that you guys can't look out for. That I just gave you guys, and it's to sum it up, it's RCL, Royal Caribbean Cruises, and Lido. So the two names that you guys should be taking consideration, and I think they're pretty good names. They're not too good for day trading, as they do sometimes less than $1 million in volume, and it's lack of liquidity. But for the swing trades, they do pretty good movements, and they're pretty sustained. So that's why I like those names right there. Moving back to Tesla, let's see what this thing is doing. Let's see. Yeah, still pretty flat. This thing is just making us bored. Honestly, bored to death. Hasn't gone either up or down. It's just within this kind of consolidation here range. Yeah, I mean, what else can we say on this name? It's not looking too good, to be honest. Let's see. NVIDIA, how is that one doing? These two have been... Yeah, like I said, we pulled back again from the $142 level. We just can't get above it, right? We can't seem to close above the pre-market high. Just shows us how weak the name has been, right? And it's in a range, right? So, like I previously said, if you're a range trader, then this is a pretty good name for you guys to be trading. You just go short the resistance level, the range, and then you go, cover, go long if you want, at the support levels here at the lows, right? Showing that momentum. Let's see, Meta, how's this doing on the 5-minute? Yeah, found support at the 5. Here at E15, around there. Here on the 50 EMA, quite nice to see. Let's see the overall SPY. Yeah, finding some support there. See how the SPY looks on the overall, on the daily. We're not too far from achieving all-time highs here on the overall SPY. Sorry about all these indicators, but this is just previous areas of support that we had here that we marked. Let me just clean this up for you guys right here. So it looks like we did pull back there, but so let's see. Okay, so we were all-time highs previously, and then the Trump news came, all his tariff stuff and news, and it just impacted the market pretty heavily. We saw a sharp decline here on equities, and people started to freak out, and it did make sense, right? Then we started to slowly see some type of rally, and I think this was probably the best rally since World War II, something like that. It was an intense day towards the upside here for the overall SPY and calls and stuff, and we started to see a bounce now. I guess people got short squeezed. People assumed, oh yeah, it's gonna be the end of the world, and it just got short squeezed here. Showing basically the dedication and the power that Trump had at the time. Okay, so he paused it, it went up, and slowly we started to get above the 50 MA, and yeah, once we were above as well the swing high anchored VWAP, it was just long from there. So the long, pretty much the trend reversal was at the break of like 560, 565, this area, and from there we've been nothing but trending towards the upside. I think this year we do achieve all-time highs in the market. I mean, we're only, think about this. We're only, let's see, around 2% from the highs that we saw right previously before the sharp decline, and it was quite obvious that the tariffs that were being imposed here by Donald Trump here. The market obviously reacted in a negative way, but if we think about this and zoom out and analyze this here a little bit more logically, the numbers of tariffs that were being implemented here, or were about to be implemented, realistically and economically, they weren't sustainable over the period of time that they were going to be implemented. You can't have these high tariffs of more than 100% over the course of 4 years on just one country. Obviously, at some point, it's going to have to reduce, and that's exactly what happened, right? We had these little trade deal with China, and it went down to like 35-25% from being at 100 and something, right? So that was honestly a perfect opportunity to buy the dip right in the market, because economically that just wasn't feasible, right? Having that high of a tariff on a certain country or multiple countries over the course of the span of the 4 years that he's going to be in office, right? So obviously he was going to have some tariffs, but not too high, and it was just going to decline. It was just a matter of time before the market reacted positively, and we saw that bid in the overall market here. And overall, for example, today we're bullish, right? Today the market is up, I guess, because the job market data came in pretty strong. Like I said, we had some, we had some numbers come in right here. Yeah, we had non-farm payrolls came in quite well here for the month of May. The forecast was 130,000, and the actual came in higher, showing a resilient labor market despite of tariff concerns. And the other important number that we got at 5:30 was the unemployment rate here for May, which was in line. It's at 4.2%. Ideally, on an overall longer-term economic standpoint, we do want unemployment to be at about 4%, 3 or 4%, ideally. Right. So anything above, when you start seeing, the unemployment rate rise above, 4, we get to 5%, then we should start to worry. But for right now, it looks like the labor market is strong regardless of the tariffs, and it has investors pretty pleased, and it's kind of calming them down, right? So that's what we're seeing, this bid in the market, and it's good because it also shows that with more people laboring and strong labor market, then we can still have higher GDP, not have a slowdown, right? Because there's still output going on in the economy, right? So let's check any other important numbers here that may come up. Let's see, for Monday, June 9th, we have wholesale inventories month over month. Not really too important. Let's see, the most important here would be, there it is. So June 11th, we would get the core inflation rate, so excluding food and energy, the month over month change. The year over year is important, inflation rate month over month, and CPI is also important as well, right? So we get a little gauge of the change in prices here, the fluctuation. So I guess we get no important numbers at all until, no numbers at all until next week on Wednesday, June 11th. We get core inflation rate, the overall normal inflation rate, including everything, aggregate pretty much, and the important CPI. So we'll have to take a look at that, see how the markets react on that day. overall. Let's see, going back now to the trade here on Tesla. Let's see. Looks like we are, it's in a range, but we are finding, I guess some buyers here. In a way, let's put VWAP back again. It's like we're pinching, basically we're in a range, and this is pretty good, right? If the longer we kind of stay in this kind of trendless consolidative price action, the longer we stay in this, the longer or the bigger is going to be the move to either side, right? Either towards the upside or the downside, the bigger the move, right? Because it's like energy being built up, like there's a concentration of energy being built up here, and whether we go, we break above here and it's going to be a nice move towards the upside, or if we break below the VWAP and all these technical indicators of support, then it would be a downward move, right? So I don't know, we can kind of project maybe where we may move. I firmly still believe, we have resistance at 309. If this does break, we will achieve 309 or even close, maybe a little bit less than that, but around that area. If we do break, then our first area of support would be the EMA here. I mean the pivot point 294, or even the pre-market low support of 292. So there's areas to make quite the trade here. If you guys so I just have to be patient, pretty much. Here on the name, dun, 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 dun. Not bad. Looks like it's having some time here. A little bit of difficulties here trying to get above this area here for Tesla. Yeah, even though sometimes we see here on the equity that or in general, regardless of what you're trading, sometimes trends start to be flat and there's no upside. It takes a while to develop, right? But then eventually there's that shift in momentum, that day or that candle that gives that decisive move, and there's just an uptrend from there, right? Right. So sometimes you just can't assume that things stay constant or stay flat. Here, for example, here on Tesla, we can't just assume, oh yeah, we're probably going to be trading flat the whole day, or oh yeah, there's no trend. But these are the best because during this time there's energy that's being captured here, I guess, momentum. And once there's a shift here or a breakout in either way, either direction, there's going to be an intense move, right? Because that energy has to be released somehow, right? Let's see. So going back there. Bitcoin pretty strong on the day. I just have to wait. It's just honestly trending, trendless, I guess, in a way here. Let's see, check on the market. Yeah, now it's pulling back. Jesus, there. Now market's pulling back, showing that, yeah, man, it's just not a lot of support nor resistance here for the overall market. We break below VWAP, we break above, break below, break above, and then break below, and now we're below the overall 50 MA. So it's not a good sign, and even if you break this on the keys, we break this 528, then there's no other support than here at 526, so or even 524, due to this break here on the downside, so who knows, right? We'll have to see, give it time. But yeah, other than that, I guess we'll leave it at that for today. The trade was profitable here on Tesla. We managed quite well this breakout. We got the majority of the position here at seeing this candle, and we kind of held a little bit back here towards the VWAP, and we got out of another part of the position, but now we're just holding the rest and seeing whether we break up towards the upside or break down towards the downside, where if we break up, then we'll have to, we can add into the position, again, take advantage of that momentum. If not, then probably get liquidated, but good thing that we took advantage of this nice move, this nice breakout above VWAP, and we got out for the majority of our position here, and we're only probably holding full disclosure around 10% of the position, which is just a little bit here, just take advantage of the moves. So yeah, it was a quite nice day to trade here, especially, but just pretty choppy here now, and we'll have to see what happens with Tesla overall. And yeah, other than that, subscribe to the channel, like the video, so other people can get this as well, recommended. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And as always, take care, stay uplifted, and don't let the market whip you guys out. I'll see you guys